Chapter 1 The Gao Ling Mei Nan is the antidote. You are listening at FameTV.info. On a rainy night, at the north corner of Jianyu Palace of the Suzaku dynasty. Ho, ho. He only heard heavy and painful gasps, which were accompanied by the rapid ups and downs of chaotic footsteps. Looking through the sound, I saw a girl in a white skirt panicking and rushing forward desperately, staggering a few steps. Ah, little bitch. You stop me. Behind the girl, there is clearly a man with big fat ears and a more wretched look than Zhu Beiji, who is swearing while clutching his crotch, and chasing after a fat pig with a fat pig's hand. The girl's body is gone. No, this makes the body have reached its limit. Yi Qianli, who was unable to accelerate any longer, felt desperate. Not only was her whole body scorching uncomfortable at this moment, the profound energy in her body could not be moved at all, and her mind became more and more blurred, but she can't stop, must not stop. Some people want to tarnish her innocence, some want to destroy her goddess body, some want to harm her. She can't stop, she must flee here. Hold on for a while, the cousin will come back soon, hold on for a while. Yi Qianli desperately cheered herself up, and bit her tongue again. The pain kept her awake and her footsteps stabilized. After getting down, the speed finally came up, but until Yi Qianli ran to the edge of the north corner of the palace, and ran to the edge of the most precarious Duantianya of Jianyu Palace, she couldn't wait for someone to save her. Ha, little bitch, you are no longer good, let me you obediently. Little bitch, you see that the power of the medicine has diverged. You can't run and there is nowhere to run. Little bitch, dare you kick me and see if I don't kill you. Yi Qianli, who was already confused, only heard a frantic clamor, and only felt that her body was being held down by a pile of fat. Someone was tearing her clothes, and there was a hand touching her body. Roll, woo. The only trace of reason left. Yi Qianli wanted to struggle, but her body was reacting instinctively because of the power of the medicine, and she sobbed and wept unbearably. Sizzle, at the same time, the skirt of her chest was suddenly torn apart, and cold rain and a pair of fat hands attacked at the same time. Roll. Yi Qianli suddenly screamed sharply. Her last reason made her burst out the last resistance at this humiliating moment. She struggled desperately and jumped. Jumping down to the cliff ahead, she jumped out of the abyss. The patter of rain water dripped coolly on Yi Qianli's face, but she felt very hot. So hot. It's so hot. And she was very uncomfortable, as if there were thousands of big ants crawling all over her body, biting her bit by bit. She opened her eyes suddenly. It was a pair of Chui Caning's bright glass eyes, very beautiful and very cold. What the hell? Yi Qianli looked at the dark sky and found himself hanging from a tree on the cliff. But shouldn't she be on the plain? Hiss, she was a little confused, but a sharp pain slammed into her head after a long while. It turned out to be a terrorist attack. The plane was bombed, and I was still alive. I just changed my body. Yi Qianli sighed and concluded rather slyly, although it was a serious injury, I had a high concentration. Love potion's body. Not bad. Yi Qianli at this moment is no longer by Yi Qianli. The current Yi Qianli is the genius Dr. Yi Qianli of the century who said that the king wants people to die 3 times, and leaves the dead to bring them back to life. She fights the king with silver needles, the of death, and never misses in all battles. The original Yi Qianli was the eldest lady of the northern noble Yi family of the Suzaku dynasty. She was a natural goddess and belonged to the most perfect cultivation physique. She was selected as the future queen of the Suzaku dynasty since she was a child. It's a pity that this dynasty lady was obviously conspired by others, because the body of the goddess must not be broken before the age of 18, otherwise it will become a waste of complete destruction of the meridians. However, the original Yi Qianli was not only given a high-density love potion, but also almost raped. Wait, Misty. Where can I find medicine to detoxify me from the cliff? Yi Qianli found that this problem was serious. Although she is a genius doctor, she doesn't have any high-tech equipment, high-tech needles and medicines. What can she do? In the West Palace of Jianyu Palace in memory, there is a Bingquan. Instinct finally made Yi Qianli quickly analyze in her heart the most beneficial way to detoxify her. You have to go there. Yi Qianli must have thought in her heart. She didn't want to die like this, and there would be nothing if she died. Isn't that a chance to live again? How can this work? Crack. Sighting Yi Qianli's eyes were calm, and he stretched out his hand to correct his displaced left leg bone. Crack, click, the kneecaps are successfully but connected, the ribs are temporarily snapped, and the internal organs will not be injured. After a simple and cruel treatment of the seriously injured body, Yi Qianli carefully moved from the branch to the edge of the cliff. Based on the preliminary estimation of this body, she predicts that she will be able to stay awake for another 20 minutes, and 20 minutes is also the last time for the love potion in her body to break out completely. Within 20 minutes, she had to climb up without saying anything. She had to go from the North Palace of the palace to the West Palace to find the Bingquan, otherwise she would undoubtedly die. Ho! After Yi Qianli gasped for a long time, she used a sharp branch cord that was broken by her to pierce several acupuncture points on her body fiercely. The potential of the human body was instantly stimulated by Yi Qianli. Then on the cliff, a white shadow of embarrassment, immediately climbed up step by step at an unimaginable speed. It didn't look like someone who was injured or poisoned at all. Yi Qianli's gaze was always calm, she concentrated on counting her time, climbing up against the clock. Finally, she climbed the cliff, and she entered the West Palace from the North Palace. What is strange is that the Jianyu Palace tonight, whether it is the North Palace or the West Palace, is not guarded. 10 seconds, the last 10 seconds. Yi Qianli, who was already staggering, broke into the Bingquan Palace. The last 10 seconds. Yi Qianli, who was confused, didn't see the so-called Bingquan, but she saw a man who was wrapped in mist, like a god. The man. The love potion in Yi Qianli's body has burst out arrogantly. Every cell in her body was clamoring, I want a man. I want a man. And this man is right in front of him. Puff. At the last moment when Yi Qianli's consciousness was completely dissipated, she instinctively threw forward and threw the man down gorgeously. But after this rush, Yi Qianli felt full of coldness, and the cold was so comfortable that the roots of her hair were trembling. Well. At this time, Yi Qianli had no consciousness. She instinctively stripped off some obstructive clothing, instinctively held a piece of cold lips, and instinctively did all kinds of hooligan things. Boom. A blast of coldness into the bones, as if the murderous aura that could freeze people to death in an instant, spread out tyrannically at this moment. And the birthplace of the killing intent was a man who was suddenly thrown down by Yi Qianli and then forced to press on the ground. Sizzle. However, the man's killing intent was useless, and Yi Qianli had already stripped off his pants. Topic O. The new article is open. Ask for collection, ask for click, ask for promotion. Roll all kinds of requests. Who? Listen to the full novel at FameTV.info, direct link in the description.